Some 700 monuments are scattered throughout the country, but ever since the end of the 19th century, Monument Avenue has been lined with memorials for Confederate heroes. From lesser-known Navy Commander Maury and General Jeb Stuart to the Holy Trinity of the Confederacy, General Stonewall Jackson, first and only President Jefferson Davis, and the iconic General Lee. Their enormous scale seems to rewrite the end of the Civil War, changing defeat and surrender into a triumphant victory. Their elevation is part of the ideology known as the Lost Cause, which focuses on the valor and sacrifice for their heroic struggle against great odds. But it also paved the way for the Ku Klux Klan in the era of Jim Crow, that tried to save the Old South by keeping the black population from exercising their freedom and legally segregated them for almost another century. So, it was with some irony that I looked at the monument for Arthur Ashe at the end of Monument Avenue. The Richmond-born tennis star was added in 1996, apparently as an attempt to make Monument Avenue an avenue for all people. That Ashe, because of his skin color, had never been allowed to play on the city's public tennis courts didn't seem to matter. Just a few miles away lies Oakwood Cemetery, home to over 17,000 Confederate soldiers. In gratitude of their devotion, the Commonwealth of Virginia has provided perpetual care for their graves, as it reads on the plaque that the city had installed in 1930. Just next to it lies East End Cemetery, a historic African-American cemetery and final resting place to some 13,000 black Richmonders. Decades of neglect have obscured their graves beneath tangles of ivy, brush, and illegally dumped trash.
My father is actually buried over in the first part that we came into. Both my grandparents, my mother's parents, my uncle, her brothers, my siblings, and my great-great-grandparents are buried over in the wooded section that I haven't been able to find their marker. I think this place is 60 acres. That's a lot of land.
Doreen Fleming is a member of a small group of regular volunteers who are working to uncover the graves and give back the dignity to the souls who are buried out here.
But when you leave the beautiful, well-manicured Oakwood Cemetery and come into this, it's like, what a juxtaposition of care, maintenance, resources, public resources, and neglect, no public resources, and forest. So in the 90s, when I first became aware of an effort to try and reclaim Evergreen and East End cemeteries, the volunteers at that time went to the city for help and assistance, and they would say, well, there's nothing we can do. That property actually lies in Henrico County. And we would go to the leaders in Henrico County, and they said, well, that actually lies in the city, because part of it is in the county, but part of it is in the city. So that was just part, I don't know the word that I could say, maybe it wasn't complete honesty, but it's kind of a headache. Who wants to take over an overgrown cemetery? So slowly, like Maggie Walker's monument was like the place where we started, because she was such an outstanding and famous person, and slowly this whole area has gotten cleaned out. There's lots of monuments that have just been overcome over the years by by Mother Nature, but also by vandals. I've been told stories of fresh tracks, of people coming in and pulling down monuments and knocking them over for sport. But I'm hopeful now, because the General Assembly last year did set aside some money for historic African-American cemeteries. And so I'm hoping that we're going to see a change, because our volunteer efforts, generation after generation after generation, can't maintain it. I used to be afraid to come out here because of snakes, but since I've been coming down for the cleanups, I'm not afraid of the snakes anymore.
What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid that when the people who are alive now and working on this effort, trying to reclaim this cemetery, die, then, you know, it'll just go back to forest again. I mean, it's just such a huge undertaking. I mean, look around, you know? It's like you try and, you know, you reclaim a little corner and then it just goes right back to the ivy again. I'm afraid that the resources that have finally been set aside, the money that's been given to us by the General Assembly, that it won't really come out here and make a difference. That's what I'm afraid of. You know, I want the families with this, that have loved ones buried out here to have a say in how, you know, what the plan is moving forward. I just want equitable treatment, you know, for these loved ones as Virginians who helped to build this country and build this Commonwealth and build this nation, that are given a respect that they're due, which is just having their final resting places maintained and kept nice. And give people an opportunity to come out here and be inspired by their stories and contemplate and commune with those who left a legacy here.
We left Doreen and on our way to Charlottesville, passed by the soon-to-be-revealed statue for civil rights activist, daughter of a slave, and first female banker Maggie Lena Walker, whose recovered grave we had just seen moments ago. It seems time is beginning to catch up, ever so slowly.